Welcome back to the Scatterpot Podcast. We're here again with another episode coming at you, boys. With me, FaZe Yummy David.
I'm Daniel.
FaZe.
And
then we have a boy writing on something we can't say. FaZe Canaan.
FaZe Gucci.
FaZe Gucci, excuse
Unfortunately,
me.
I know.
Daniel knows. I'll be on.
I possess knowledge.
I'll be on this for a while. You gotta make. Oh, you can't see what the board says on what we need to talk about. Talk about awkward moments.
So just the one right now.
Let's see. Awkward moment. Let's see.
Yeah, it's about.
I had an awkward moment the other day at the barber.
Really?
Coincidentally, it was I walked in
Yeah.
and there were 3 ladies in there, and they're all standing at the chairs, and there's no one else, and I have to make a choice. And I walked in, I was like, do I have to sign in or anything? And one lady was like, oh, no, you don't. And then they all just looked at me, and I was like,
what you do?
so
What?
I don't know. I
mean,
just
depends
walked.
on where you go.
Yeah,
Where'd you
because
go?
there was no one else.
Did you go to sports clubs, you said?
No, it's
Oh.
Main Street Barber.
Oh.
And so I just went to the lady in the middle, and the other 2 ladies just like turned around and started cleaning their tails and stuff.
Unfortunate.
And so it was this Asian lady, and she had a fairly thick accent, but she started cutting my hair and just like trying to make small talk. And
Right, yeah.
no one had said anything, and I totally like talking, but if they don't like initiate it, I'm not gonna make them talk, you know.
Same. I agree.
So I was just kind of sitting there, and then she was like, high school or college? And I was like, oh, college. I go to Liberty up in Virginia.
I did not hear an
do
accent. I didn't hear one.
Canaan,
I think you're racist.
Canaan, you
'cause
want
heard
to show us
something.
what you're drawing on the board?
I'm writing something, not drawing.
I can see the reflection in the TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
So she was obviously a foreigner, but she'd probably been in America for a couple of years because her English was okay. And so I said, I go up to college in Virginia, Liberty University. And she was like, oh, Virginia. I was like, oh, yeah. It's about 7 hours away. It's a long drive. And I just said it was 7 hours away just, to say that it's a long drive and stuff. And then she just kind of laughed, and she's like, yes, I know where Virginia is. And then I was like, that's not what I meant. And it was just really awkward because she thought I was assuming since she was foreign that she doesn't know anything about geography. And so I was just like,
so I've actually taken a part-time job as a police sketch artist. And I think,
oh, really?
I
For what
think
department?
I got the description.
For what department?
Haircut department. And I think I have a drawing of what your hairstylist looks like.
Whoa!
Is this close? Is that in frame, Hubert?
I don't know.
Yes,
it is in frame. All of it in its glory.
Like the clouds.
No, yes, the clouds, the sun, the rice field, the hat, the.
So is this what your barber looked like, Daniel?
it was very dark. I can neither confirm nor deny.
But like, am I close?
Kind of.
That's racist, Daniel.
No, not close at all.
Not close enough.
Not close.
I've seen that exact drawing many times.
Yeah. Didn't you like etch a sketch it one time or
No,
something?
it was one of those boogie boards, the ones with the button to like clear it.
Yeah.
For the escape room.
Well,
when we were getting instructions, and then Canaan was like, wait, everybody. I drew a Chinaman.
Oh,
We were
nice.
supposed to take notes on how to escape.
Well, it's funny. They give you like notepads and stuff like that to like take notes. They almost never come in handy for the most part, because most of the time, like you have enough people that you can just yell the numbers.
Yeah.
To whoever.
Is Chinaman, is that a... I mean, I know it's slightly derogatory, but how offensive is that compared to like some other racial slurs?
Like Oriental rugs.
Let's slow down there.
Chinaman, I feel like is pretty rough. As far as
there's just no, you can't get around that one.
I mean, if you got rid of the teeth, I think you'd be good. But I think the teeth, the teeth do it. The teeth do it.
But then, how do you know they're Chinaman?
He's working the rice
Perhaps
fields.
1 millimeter wide lines that you drew for open eyes would.
See, but with the teeth, you can also tell this takes place in China. 'Cause look,
So
they have a different sun over there in China.
What about Vietnamese people or Korean? Do they do it? How do they look? Could you draw really quickly?
Do you want me to draw a Vietnamese village? Why don't you guys talk about ideal family ideas while I
Three children max, a beautiful wife.
hold on,
Settles
Huber,
down.
pass me that
White picket
Georgia
fence.
blanket to over in that pit.
White picket fence. I'm gonna have to go with
The soft one, thank you. Yeah. Oh Lord.
preferred number of children. It's got to be 4.
Whoa. Okay. This man just said 4.
4
This man
kids.
said.
Let me-
This
let
man
me-
wants to put his wife through 4 years of pregnancy. Men could go through it 4 times, and then after all that's said and done, still wants to get it on after that.
Get it on. Okay, let me make my case.
Okay, go ahead and make your case. Yeah.
So with 4 people, that's 6
You
people.
can't see it in the TV right now, right?
No,
Oh,
I can't
honestly,
see it.
can you?
No.
I'm drawing a Vietnamese family.
Great. Yeah. So you're gonna have 6 people in total if you have
Right.
4 kids,
Right.
which is an even number,
Right.
which automatically is superior to odd numbers. But
Okay.
in
Okay.
the situation of a family, it's
Mhm.
ideal because you can now have even teams for everything.
Okay.
Everyone can have a partner. If you go to Six Flags, everyone gets to sit in a seat with someone. If you're
Okay.
playing cornhole, you can have 2-on-2 and then another team sub in.
Mhm.
Everything works perfectly. And on top of that, when you have just 3 kids, or God forbid, just 1 kid, you're gonna have a middle child.
My mom was an only child.
None of my parents are only childs. Only children.
My dad was one of 8.
Child. 1 of 8? Dang.
Yeah. 7 brothers and 1 sister.
That is
It
crazy.
was rough for her.
Yeah, I bet.
Where are the other colored markers? I know I have more. Are they on the table?
Above you.
Here's one.
Above you. Above you. Above you. On the TV.
Okay.
I didn't
You
like
can
it.
keep it.
I didn't like it.
I know.
I just got close.
It's okay. Also, with 3 kids, yeah, if you have a middle child, automatically get bullied.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
fine.
gonna happen.
That child's gonna turn up like Bill Gates. He's gonna be bullied.
But wait,
his
hold
entire
on.
life,
Question.
Become superior.
With a family of 4,
Yes.
then you technically don't have a single middle child, but one of the 2 will migrate to be a middle child. I know as a third of 4 of my own.
That is potentially true, but you also have to consider that it's likely, as long as there's not a massive age difference between all of them, if they're all fairly
It's like
sequential.
17, and
So
then
you're
you just
banging these
then
4 kids out.
Yeah,
like-
you gotta have them pretty much.
boom,
in a
boom,
row.
boom, like a factory, dude.
Yeah, that's the probably the best way to do it. Then you're gonna be able to have, instead of having 1 middle child against 2 other siblings, you're gonna have 2 against 2. It works out well. Preferably.
Okay.
Or you have 3v1.
What if one gets like the superior genes, and like gets all the height, gets all the, all the genes, right, from all your past families? What
Okay.
happens then?
Well, in that case, if they're the oldest child, it's okay because they can
Not the
they
first
can
one.
forge a path.
Mm.
They can protect the younger siblings.
Mm.
They can train up. Say they have the athletic genes,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
they can help out a little bit with. Maybe the other ones aren't as athletic. That's okay. They don't have to be. But
So, my ideal number of family.
Number of family.
My number of kids is 2 kids.
okay,
For all the same reasons you said,
just less.
just not as many as 4.
Okay.
Because the thing is that 2, there is no middle child.
Mm-hmm.
There is no arguments on that.
Okay.
One's the oldest, one's the youngest. Oh, I just dropped that green marker back there.
It's gone forever.
So that's my argument, because you still have the even teams if you have both parents involved.
Right.
You can do cornhole, 1 kid with mom, 1 kid with dad.
Okay.
I just think 2 kids is everything good you said about yours, just better.
Okay. So I want to have a lot of kids. So
And I finished
4 for me.
my drawing of a Vietnamese family.
I want 2 sons and 1
it's
daughter.
gonna have 2 kids, isn't it?
It actually does have 2 kids.
Look at that. Perfect.
All right. Let's see this.
This is Canaan's wife.
Don't
This
laugh.
is a Vietnamese
You
family.
can't laugh.
What the? Wait, what?
Hiding in the
Oh my!
There's 4 of them in the tree.
When the trees
Oh, I
start-
see them.
Yeah, you
Wait.
see the eyes?
When the trees start speaking Vietnamese.
Wouldn't it be like jungle trees, Canaan?
Yeah, they live
I
in
don't
some
know how to
oaks.
draw jungle trees. So
Living in
this
some
is-
nice
What's a
oaks
bamboo?
at
Just put
Central
a
Park.
line. And then
Well, this is a Vietnamese family that migrated to the good old U.S. of A.
they're in the trees, huh?
They're in the trees.
Well, that's going to give a veteran PTSD right there.
They're just in their neighborhood, and all of a sudden, just. Yes. Any other ethnic groups you'd like me to draw pictures of?
Think that about
A
that.
African American, not African, no,
I
not
don't touch
American.
African. I do Asians.
Can you give us a white family?
I don't know white families.
Well, all right.
I only do Asian
Give me a
subcultures.
South Filipino family.
Only Asian subcultures.
Filipino is
Yeah.
Asian.
South.
Not
It's-
enough Asian.
What do you
too
mean?
far from the mainland.
Okay, Indonesia.
Too far from
Mongolian.
Mongolian
I'm
chicken,
not-
good.
I'm not good at drawing samurais.
Samurai.
That's not the right
What's this
country.
guy smoking?
Mongolians had samurais.
They were freaking Genghis Khan.
Those
the
weebs.
Golden Horde.
Weebs are samurais.
I was really hoping you'd say Japanese because I was gonna draw Kawaii-san, but
Just-
no,
we will
I'm
never
done.
say Japanese.
I'm done.
You just did.
We'll leave the Vietnamese.
You
family
just did,
out.
Daniel. I don't think you realized, but you just said the word.
What?
You said the word that you said you weren't gonna say.
Oh wow.
What word did he say he was not gonna say?
He said, "I'm not
I
gonna say
bamboozled
Japanese,"
myself.
and then he said Japanese.
Dang.
By the way, there's a nice Japanese thing in Loganville. It's made a fresh sushi made. I got a bento box there. They just
Nice.
give you lettuce though, which is pretty just stupid. They're like, here, eat this lettuce. It's
Redis.
it's iceberg. There's no
Wait,
nutritional
hold
values.
on. What's the hardest word to say as a person of Asian culture?
Valentina.
Rorripop. Rorripop.
I ate 2 Rorripops today.
Why do we always go back to
'Cause they're
racist
funny.
Asian accent?
Well, hold on.
I think everybody
I
likes
have
to
to grab the marker.
do that.
Oh lord. So.
Oh
just
my
ignore
gosh.
me.
Mm.
What's the most awkward moment you've ever been in?
I'm trying to think.
Camera.
Oh my god, dude! The mic
fan
had to
literally
pick that up.
blowing. It's the fan's rotating.
It's coming to you. Okay.
We're
Anyways.
getting that everywhere. Dude, that actually makes I'm slightly nauseous after that. Like, that was sick.
Dude, that's disgusting.
Rorripop.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my god.
I hope the mic picked that up.
My most awkward or an awkward moment?
Hold on. Most likely the mic picked that up.
Most awkward or just awkward?
There's a few waveforms where
Just
it happened.
any
Just awkward.
awkward moment you can think of.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that is filthy.
Hmm. Let's see here. I know I've had them. I'm trying to think. I think this happens to everybody when you're at a 4-way stop and you both get there at the same time and you look at each other. You're like, "Go,
Yep,
please!"
Yep.
But
Happened to me earlier today.
I've finally taken the initiative and I just go first because I'm just gonna go.
Or pulling up at a red light directly beside someone and you
Yeah.
both make
Oh.
eye contact.
Especially when there's a person with darker pigment blasting rap music,
That's racist.
and you know they're looking at you and you're just like,
the bass is rocking your soul,
Oh my god.
quaking your innards.
My brain just thought of this.
No.
Rick my Rorripop.
Well, this is my last episode of
No! You're only with us for about 2 more episodes after this, right? Or when do you head back?
August 12th. But
Oh, so then we got you for another 4 episodes.
we can go all out racist on the last one.
I know, the last one,
I have to have my name associated with this.
yeah, I tagged you, so if anyone Googles Daniel Russell,
Perfect.
it's going to lead them to
Come
here.
up with Vietnamese families in oak trees.
Yes.
Great.
This sounds really weird. But there was the summer camp I worked at, or the summer little thing I did at my last job.
Yeah, yes, the
There
drug
was-
dealership.
Yes. No. The drug dealership is this my current job.
Nah.
Sweet.
You
Anyways.
never answered any of our questions about the old job, so we just assumed you did
It's
drugs.
a Presbyterian church called Good Shepherd Presbyterian, and it's in Lilburn. You can look it up. Those are the questions answered. Next
But no,
question.
no. You never
What?
answered questions on like what you did.
I was a assistant teacher.
What did you teach?
I didn't teach
Yeah.
anything. I
Yeah,
assistant
chemistry, huh?
Assistant teacher means I assist.
Chemistry, huh?
Anyways,
Taught the kids.
there was a whole bunch of
Oh my God.
ethnicities in there.
Mm-hmm.
From white, black, Asian. Which was the weirdest thing is there was like a bunch of different like types of Asians. So we had two little Chinese boys, Gavin and Jimmy. I'm pretty
Jimmy.
sure Jimmy's gonna turn out gay. No, Gavin's gonna turn out gay, and then Jimmy is a wild child, and then there's this little Vietnamese girl. I will not say her name.
Is it Oak
Her name's Gabby.
No.
Is it Oak Tree?
No. She was learning Vietnamese when I left. She didn't know too much of it, though. But Gavin would talk back to his dad in Chinese. His dad would say something back, and then he would stop talking. And
Who
then
knows?
Jimmy. No. Gavin I was told Gavin got kicked out because he was bullying one of the teachers.
How old were these kids?
You can't have him above 5th grade. So it's 5th grade after
Dang.
that, and then they have to...
Bullying
Yeah,
the teacher.
I forget exactly what was going on.
What's that?
What?
I
What?
don't know. Yeah, there's a family that came into work the other day that they were all one family.
Right.
It was the husband, the wife. The husband, he was Hispanic, but he had totally perfect English, like no accent at all.
Yeah.
But then his wife had a pretty strong accent. And I think they both had a couple kids, and then they were like married.
Okay.
And on the mom's side, the kids spoke like no English, and then on the dad's side, the kids spoke English. So they all ordered in total 5 banana splits and 2 concretes, which are like blizzards from Dairy Queen. And banana splits are a nightmare, but anyways. And every single one, you get 3 scoops of ice cream with it, and every single one was like customized, and it took so long to get their order.
Holy
Because I would ask what they want and explain it, and then the mom would translate it to them.
crap.
And, yeah, and then they would say what they want. Uno chocolate y dos vanilla. And then she would translate it back. And
Well, you know that is, though.
yeah, exactly. When they said that, I was like, 1 chocolate, 2 vanilla. And she went,
Oh!
yes. And she was all excited. I was like, I can get that much.
It's like English, but spicy.
Yeah, exactly. Fancy
Spicy English.
Spicy English. You just put a little
Well,
hyphens
no,
here.
have you seen that?
Vanilla.
You've probably seen this. It's like English is just 3 other languages stacked on top of each other wearing a trench coat.
Yeah.
Because
So true.
we have like Latin, Spanish, and then whatever the third one they're referring to is.
We have
but,
like every language
like
thrown
that's
into
the thing.
us.
Yeah, we have so many.
Well, I guess a lot of them have Latin roots, so that's why it's so
Well,
similar.
yeah, but like we have, but like
It's
they're
like Spanish,
well-
French, and
well, but the thing is that like
German.
like
they're all, they're all
foyer.
like Spanish and stuff. They are Latin, so like Latin.
yeah.
But like we're just like Latin.
Do you know that half of Mexico is white? I didn't know that. I found that out
Really?
the other day.
Huh?
It's because Spanish
You gotta
people
go save 'em.
in Spain are white.
That makes sense.
We gotta
I
go
know.
save them.
Dude, this is getting bad.
Yeah.
We're going off the rails here.
You know this. We might have to just stop this. and
I've been David.
This one over.
no. So
And
all
there's that.
all the racist stuff aside, let's just push past this racism.
New Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Nintendo Switch Lite.
Heard about that?
Natishi,
I know nothing about it.
Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch
Just when you thought you got away from it.
Gosh. I don't
I
know
bet
what to
you
call
you're
this
gonna
episode.
I bet you they'd be like Breath of the Wild 2 only for Nintendo Switch Lite. It's like
But Hubert,
Only the
you-
Lite version.
So
Right.
yeah, Nintendo Switch Lite.
It's pretty whack. It's
It's-
pretty much a DS.
Well, yeah, it's
I haven't seen it yet.
So basically, what it is, Hubert. Imagine this.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the Nintendo Switch in all its glory,
Mm-hmm.
So, well, there actually, before I go into this, there are two different camps of people that I've seen, at least in my Nintendo forums and stuff like that.
Weeb. It's true.
No, so it's not 50-50, but like 65 to 70% of people are like, okay, cool. But the other like 35% is like, well, no, 35% just like, what is this
Blaming
garbage?
it, yeah.
Well, because this is what they're saying. They're like, it's $100 cheaper than the Switch itself.
Okay.
It's a Switch. It cannot connect it to the TV. So it's a Switch.
At all.
So it's just a Switch.
It legit is just the portable version of the Switch, and the Joy-Cons don't come off.
Yeah. So it's pretty much the next step to like a DS. Or
Yeah,
a 3DS.
it's basically a more powerful DS.
Yeah.
That doesn't and
And it has all the stuff that a Switch has.
pretty much. So what the exact thing is that instead of Joy-Cons on the side, it's fused together.
Yeah,
It's like
just,
a tablet.
merged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of the 4 buttons on the side, it actually has a real D-pad on the left side.
Okay.
The screen is like
Smaller.
75, like
Oof.
well, no, not 75% smaller.
Oh.
Not even 75% the size. It's like the Switch is like about 6.1 inches, and then this one's like 5.9.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a very minuscule difference in size. And people that have had it hands-on says its full size is like a Nintendo Switch with only one Joy-Con in the side. So it's like a Joy-Con shorter, and it's a solid piece of plastic.
I wonder why they're selling it. Like,
Well, think about it. If you were a parent and you have these kids who are just like, Mom, Dad, I want to play Pokemon, which is coming out around the same time as like a month.
Coincidence?
This new Nintendo Switch Lite comes out before that, but like around
he could get a Switch.
at like the holiday season and stuff like that. But
yeah, dude.
well, the thing is that the argument can be made. I feel like this is meant for parents to buy their kids, so there's less for them to deal with.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's because like, I
It's
mean,
just
the Switch
simplified.
the Switch is pretty simple, but like it is complex because you can take off the Joy-Cons and you can lose a Joy-Con or you can break a singular Joy. This is a hunk of plastic that you can, like, I feel like this is the thing for the person who is a like hardcore PC gamer and wants to play Nintendo games, but they don't want to play it on a TV and just want to play it on the go.
Yeah.
It's for that person and for kids.
Yeah. It's for a different audience.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it lost more than $100 worth of features.
Oh, well, it definitely because like so there's no HD rumble in it since the Joy-Cons aren't a part of it. It doesn't have the IR camera that the Switch has, and then it doesn't dock. And so like that's what the people who are outraged are saying. It's like only like make it 150 or like somewhere around that price range. It's like because they mentioned if you want to play games with motion controls, ergo like Mario Party or the one they used is 1-2 Switch, which no one bought because it sucked. And so they're like, if you want to play those, you have to buy an additional set of Joy-Cons. Like, well, Joy-Cons are about $70. So like once I buy those, I'm pretty much buying a full Switch.
Yeah.
And so like that's where everyone who's furious about it is at. They're like, I don't believe this. It's like if it was sold for $150, maybe, but at $200, they're like. But I'm still thinking like $200 for like a, not current like modern console, but like a pretty powerful handheld device. I'm like,
it's not terrible.
I'm like, if the Switch didn't exist and this was their new console, people wouldn't be arguing about it.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Switch exists and this is like an offshoot product, everyone's like.
I mean, you'd think they could at least throw on like a mini HDMI.
Well, the thing is that it has a
Something,
USB. Yeah. Well, the thing is the way the Switch currently displays is it has a USB-C for charging.
Okay.
And USB-C can be used for displays as well. And it's also interesting. No one knows what Nintendo has done to allow it to both charge and display out at the same time. Because everyone who's tried to do it has ended up frying their Switches and stuff like that. So Nintendo has this like secret formula sort of that allows it to charge the device while also displaying at the same time. And everyone's like, what kind of witchcraft is this, Nintendo? And the thing is, this thing uses USB-C.
Yeah.
They just, but like,
if you don't have the dock, it's not.
Well, the thing is that that's what I'm curious about. It may be too small to fit in the dock, but like if you jerry-rigged a dock setup to get like, could it work? And people are like,
we'll see.
And that we won't know until September 20th is when it comes out.
Okay.
So like it's, but it's just interesting because it's like, I mean, I understand why it exists. It's like,
yeah.
But like the thing is that of course their commercials are all like college age people, like beautiful people pulling these out like at skate parks and stuff like that, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, let's go outside and
like
drive
play
to the park
video games.
play. Yeah, play.
And so like
Kart.
I understand like, but I think personally for me, if like let's say at this point I didn't have a Switch, I think it would be more worth it to get the proper Switch.
Yeah.
Because then you have the TV functionality, and then also that allows for larger games and larger controller support. Like, for example, how I can get a GameCube adapter.
Yep, exactly.
And we can play Smash Brothers at your house with the 8 of us using a combination of Joy-Cons, Pro controllers, and
it's much,
GameCube controllers. So, like,
better.
I feel like this one's more of a personal thing, like the DS and stuff like that. Like, this is a personal device. Like, oh, this is my Switch. While the other one's like, hey, this is a shared, like, play with a family, like...
Speaking of family.
Uh-oh.
Did you hear about the decision they made, Nintendo?
Yes!
Oh.
They're a family-friendly industry, right?
Well...
I know, yeah, I
But
saw
they
some
said-
article about this.
They said they would... They just said they considered or that they would do...
They would.
I think
They would do some...
Well, Nintendo just said they wouldn't produce any, but they will allow the
the sales.
the sale of adult-themed games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the reason
This is
this...
the downfall.
Well, no,
The
and
store is going to become flooded.
well, the reason...
I can see.
Well, and here's the thing. If you look at the eShop right now,
I haven't been there.
there's already some things that you're scrolling through and you're like,
E-girl, eShop, coincidence?
and so that's the thing, like that there's already been, and it's weird because the reason I feel like this has come up is because Sony's been so locked down, like it's like, no, we're gonna censor stuff on our console.
You want porn? Here's porn.
And then then Nintendo just went, we won't censor it. Flood to us.
Freaking Japan.
Bring your turkey basters.
Oh no.
And then Steam's already full sail ahead on that.
Yeah.
Well, Steam has been like flippity floppity on that one.
It's full.
I
steam,
know
like,
now they're full.
Like now it's like
full steam ahead. But before they were like, we're fine with it, and then a couple games came out and they're like, we're not fine with it.
like, okay.
Second thought, this isn't a great idea.
And now
Gaming
they're
was like,
now we're in.
Yeah. You talking about how no one knows how the Switch adapter works? I found out recently. I didn't realize this is a thing that happens. Apparently, companies a lot of times, whenever they come up with something like either crazily coincidental and it's like some really undiscoverable formula, chemical, or whatever, or some kind of device, they won't patent it.
So people can't figure it out.
Yeah, because when you patent it, you have to legally show if it's like a food or a chemical. You have to show the formula, or you have to show how it's made. And so I think
electronics you have to like give like bit maps and stuff. Like,
So I think I'm pretty sure it was WD-40 is not patented.
oh,
really?
Because
they don't want to give up their secret sauce.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess they're confident enough that no one's gonna figure it out. So it's probably some like freak accident in a lab.
That's
probably.
He's running outside, spilling on his door, and he's like,
the creek's
it
gone.
doesn't squeak. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting because I didn't realize that's a thing that actually
I mean,
happens.
it makes sense.
Yeah,
but
you
like
gotta be confident.
But that's the thing. Yeah, you have to be confident that it won't.
Because someone else, if they figure it out, I think they could.
Well, no,
legally
they can patent it.
WD-40 is there.
They're
Yeah,
gone.
no, they can patent it and then sue you. Now, granted, you can pay it off and just be fine. But like, if for something as big as WD-40, and I don't know if this Switch thing is patented, just no one else has really figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if it's a big company like that, they're gonna sue and like ask for revenue. Well, that's the hold on. Can you sue? Is there like a what's the word I'm looking for? Can you sue something that happened in the past in production stuff like that? Like
probably not.
What's the time? What's that thing called where like enough time has passed that you can no longer be convicted for it. What's that phrase time called?
I know you're talking about.
Is
Yeah,
it statute of limitations?
Yeah, that's it.
That sounds similar.
That's
Like
it, yeah.
it's like, yeah. So, could someone, in theory, let's say with WD-40, figure out the formula and then sue WD-40 for all the WD-40 they've sold, or can they only sue them on what they sell after that
I
point?
think it'd
It'd
be
have to be
after.
after. Because if they could sue before, that's OP.
Yeah.
Please
nerf. Yeah. Government, please nerf.
That would be ridiculous, though. But,
Yeah.
dude, can you imagine the world would actually be shook if some company came out and just walloped the WD-40?
Dude, I mean,
You know that keeps the creator up at night.
oh yeah.
Please.
Well, like the
Every
thing is,
night.
you know, he can't give it up to any employees.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Just like he. Oh my god. But like he has to let someone know in case he dies.
Yeah. His right-hand man who's already planning on selling it to somebody.
I was about to say,
To the Russians.
Yeah.
dude. No, all of a sudden we find out that like WD-40, like there's like two co-owners and they split apart, and one's about to start his own company, and then he just ends up,
WD-41.
well, but then he ends up
Just
dead
T-poses
the next
on
day,
Yeah, for real.
No, dude.
and it's like we know what went down.
I wonder what's like been the worst coincidence like that. There's some huge breakup and some company owner ends up dying the next day, but it really was just totally
A coincidence.
unrelated. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Rest in peace. Did you guys see? I think is his name something Ives left Apple.
Yeah, Johnny Ives.
Johnny Ives.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. So like so the thing is like he was like what was his like creative designer
I
or
think
something
so,
like
yeah.
that. Like that was
Yeah.
what his
Like-
title, and everyone said like this. Johnny Ives didn't do
I
much.
guess he hasn't been really.
Well, because-
he's been on a 10-year paid vacation.
Well, because that's the thing. Because I mean, granted, they like look nice and they're like thinner, but the design of the Mac and the phones, for the most part, haven't really changed since for the phones, I'd say since like the 6.
yeah, but the X was
Well, the X was
Decent change.
was a change, but like, and then the
Yeah.
Macs and these Macs haven't changed their design since like the 2010 models that were the brushed aluminum
right.
sort of. They've just gotten thinner and maybe different shades of colors, and it's like, what you doing over there, Johnny?
Yeah, maybe that's why they kept him, just because he was consistent and it
face.
worked.
Well, and also
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
a face, especially since when Steve Jobs kicked the
yeah.
bucket, they're like,
We gotta have.
we
some-
got Johnny, Johnny,
Everyone's like, Johnny, no.
Yeah, and so
Johnny,
like that's
Johnny.
those are the interesting things. While we're slightly talking about PCs, have you heard AMD's on the rise right now?
I don't think I've heard anything about
AMD announced and basically announced a bunch of different processors that just
this.
destroys
They just are clapping Intel right
everything that Intel has right now, because
Claps
they
cheeks,
have
bro.
like their Ryzen Threadrippers and stuff like that, and they have their like budget model they're releasing this year
now. Mm-hmm.
is cheaper and more powerful than like Intel's mid model,
Wow.
Holy crap.
That's
and
awesome.
it's just and like
It's good that they have competition.
yeah,
now.
that's the thing. It's like it's
Yeah.
good that competition's happening, but like they just like now.
Yeah.
Granted, graphics wise, they're still kind of toe in toe. AMD and Nvidia have been like just kind of going up progressively. One makes a stupid mistake one time, the other one makes a stupid mistake later, because like Nvidia recently released their super cards. And it's like
Are they the RTX cards?
well, there's the
RTX
RTX cards,
on,
but then they
RTX
released
off.
like the RTX 2060 Super,
Oh, jeez.
and
okay.
they're
just
like
slight upgrades.
yeah,
Yeah.
and everyone's like,
How is this better?
how is it? And it's just, and I mean, yeah, so they're doing all that, but AMD's coming back, baby.
That's cool. I know. It kind of started in the last couple of years with the Ryzen processors.
Well, yeah, and they've just gotten their Ryzen. I think it's their Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 7 are their new ones that are.
Mm-hmm.
Going crazy. Yeah, I literally have an i3 on my desktop.
I have an
It was
i5.
$80.
Yeah, I have
Gets
an
the job done though.
i5. Well, I mean, when you're going with gaming, all that really matters is that graphics card for the most
Yeah.
part. Graphics card and RAM.
And it depends on the game too. Like Arma and Daisy, their engine are like
Well, yeah.
total
It's
CPU.
disgusting CPU.
Well, and then
Yeah.
like CS:GO also has some CPU.
we're at the
favoritism.
point where 8 gigabytes of RAM is like just not enough.
Yeah,
Not
I have
anymore.
16 gigs in my system.
But
But-
you have 8, right? It's a
Yeah.
struggle.
See, because that's the thing. Like
Mhm.
So basically, I built mine, but I didn't build mine. Like you
Mhm.
actually built yours. But what happened is that like I chose it, and they gave me a pre-config, and I was like,
Okay.
and I just like, okay, and I was thinking 8 gigs is, I was like, that's not, and so I put 16 in there, and then I think I downgraded the CPU one because it was like,
okay.
do you want this new i7? And I'm like,
Let's go with that.
i5. And so like, because I was trying to semi-budget it,
Yeah.
and I was like, let's knock this down one, and then we'll knock this up one, but the thing is that there was that whole when we tried to play Technic Minecraft thing with my
yeah.
RAM. It was
Oh
like,
yeah.
it was
Yeah,
like,
using-
you need to enable more RAM, and it's like, okay, and it's like, how much RAM am I using? It says 1 gig of RAM, and I'm like, okay, and it's like, need more RAM, and I'm like, I have 16 gigs of my system,
Go for it.
and it's like
Have a cow.
what was it? I think it needed like 4 gigs or something like
Yeah.
that.
For Java, yeah.
For
Or
Java.
3 maybe.
It was like 3 or 4, and it's like, we need 3 or 4 gigs of RAM, and it's like, okay, and it's like, and we only have 1. Okay, I have 16 gigs of RAM in my system, and it's like, yes, and it's like,
That is correct.
and it's like, so just take it. It's like, you need more RAM.
Hmm.
Not good enough.
And it's like, and it was that my Java launcher was like was a 32-bit when my PC is a 64-bit, and it was just like, I love it. It's just like, need more RAM, and it's like, look, you need 4 gigs of RAM, correct? Yes. And it's like, and you're currently only getting 1. Yes. My system has 16 gigs of RAM. So it should work. Seems good to me. Then take it. You need more RAM.
Classic Patrick and
Yeah.
Man Ray.
Man Ray.
Man Ray. Gosh,
SpongeBob, dude. That was
dude.
a great show. I think prime time was pre 2006, and after that it started going down.
Yeah. Apparently some of the newer episodes have been good after Steven Hillenburg came back and then died.
Death.
Like
What is it?
the last episode, like I'm trying to think of what was one of the last episodes that came out that I thought was like actually really funny. And I think it had to have been like one of the slide whistle episodes. The slide whistle episode.
one.
I thought that episode was pretty good, and that was a semi-newer one.
Yeah,
Just
it's crazy how many references can be made with SpongeBob.
Yeah.
dude, so many. I think I saw this somewhere. Any mood can be portrayed by a SpongeBob episode.
It's true, dude. It's
And, like,
wild.
Because it's one of those things. It's been around. The show is turning 20 this year.
It's crazy.
Same
20
age,
years
same
old.
age as your boy. And so like, 20 years of a show going on, you pretty much covered every situation.
Yeah.
And like, have you heard what they're doing for their 20th like birthday bonanza spectacular?
No.
They're doing an
It's a
episode
lot of words.
where it's like it's supposed to be a surprise party for SpongeBob to celebrate his birthday.
Okay.
And Patrick has to get him out of the house for a day, and while everyone tries to plan the party, and they go on shore, and of course they have like David Hasselhoff make a cameo,
Nice.
and this was in the commercial they showed, and then they go to basically a pseudo Krusty Krabs, like a real life version of it, and it's all the voice actors of the characters playing
Lit.
their role. So like, and so like the person who plays Squidward's at the front desk sort of thing.
Yeah.
The person who plays Mr. Krabs walking back to Tom Kenny who plays SpongeBob in the back. Like the actor who plays Patrick, Sandy, Plankton.
Dang.
And I'm like, huh.
That's interesting.
I was like, I don't think it's going to work out as a story, but
Nah.
like, it's interesting
Yeah,
to
just
say the
some
least.
nice cameos there.
Which I'm curious about because Tom Kenny, when he does the SpongeBob laugh, he like jiggles his throat.
Yeah.
And I know that because I've seen like behind the scenes. So I'm curious how he's going to do it during the episode. Like,
Yeah.
like you see him like just crouch down.
Hmm.
Dude, Adventure Time, that's a I always loved that show.
Adventure
Did you
Time-
watch all the episodes?
Yep.
Me and Hubert both did
Okay.
towards the end of its run.
I've wanted to go through it all. I just like how it's so like. there's
It's a good
something-
story.
Yeah, and it's so creative. Just
Yeah.
the different, like even one of the episodes, you start storming outside and it's a dagger storm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like who thinks of the stuff, but for some reason it's just really, it's like childlike imagination, but it's
No.
put into art and it's really cool.
The final episode, like everyone was saying, it's fantastic, and I'm like, it's good.
I liked it.
I liked it, but like, it just
It left me with a bunch of more questions.
that's the thing.
I wish
Because
they would've
you think it
continued.
would answer all your questions about Ooh and the land of Ooh,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really. They sort of answer some things, and like the actual ending bit, I knew it was gonna happen from a mile away. This isn't a spoiler for the ending because anyone with more than 5 brain cells could have guessed this is how it was gonna end. It ends with the song from the credits, "Come Along With Me,"
Yeah.
and of course you're just like, and then it just pans
Playing
over
the
and it shows you
heartstrings.
it shows you where everyone's at this point, and you're just like,
Dang.
and so even an idiot would have figured out like, oh, they're gonna, because that song is like what they played through the
Yeah.
entire series, so it just like starts playing it and it just shows you like where everyone's at, and it's like, oh,
One of my favorite episodes is the one. I think that is the one with the dagger storm where they make it's like a pillow fort or something.
yeah,
And he goes in there and ends up in that other world and
Yeah.
lives his entire an entire life in
Life,
there.
Dude.
yeah.
And then he dies
yeah, and he
and
wakes
up and he's like, "Huh, that was a weird dream," and just forgets everything. It's like so tragic.
My favorite episode, I think, is the one where they where they're like trying to seal up that super dungeon that like Princess Bubblegum said like
Yeah.
stay away from, but then they both end up going down there separately, and like I like that episode mainly for one joke, and it's like Finn hops in the hole and Jake goes, "Wait, no, don't go down there," and he's like, "Oh," it's like, "Well, I'm gonna finish my sandwich first," and then he gives the sandwich like, "Hey there, Jake," and he goes, "Oh baby," and like
Oh,
falls down below the screen, just, "Oh baby."
I forgot about
So
that.
I like that episode a lot, but my favorite Adventure Time, like the funniest Adventure Time moment in my mind, by far, is when Finn and Jake have to sneak into Marceline's house. And they sneak into her house and they're in like her closet.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to sneak out of her house and then they're like tiptoeing, and then the spider just it lands on Finn's face and he just knocks it onto Jake, and it just
Yeah.
just Jake
Silent screaming.
like you can feel every emotion that Jake is feeling when he's screaming, but he has to be quiet and he's just like
Oh, what was that one where they like they're in the underworld or something and people
Oh yeah,
cut bananas out
yeah.
of their
Oh.
ears. And Jake's in the cage with a pile of bananas, and he goes over and starts eating one. And
Yeah.
one of the guards, he's like, "You eat that stuff? Sick." It just walks away. And then later it shows he's like,
and just poops.
And then
Yeah.
Jake's like, ugh.
Oh
That
my,
was hilarious.
there's so many great, like, I mean, towards the end where it gets a little weirder, and not in a good way. It's like towards the end of the show's
I never
run.
watched any of the later episodes.
Yeah, it gets a little weirder towards the end because they like play with Finn's arm more,
Oh, okay.
like where it becomes like a grass sword for a bit, then he gets a robot arm, and it's just like
okay, I do
around
remember
that point you're just like, it gets a little weird, but I enjoyed the show overall. Hold on, I know neither of you
Neither of you.
have watched. Well, you probably have watched a couple episodes, but you haven't like watched this show. Amazing World of Gumball is like, Huber, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, Huber does.
Like, I know the show.
Okay, so like the thing is that
I've watched a couple
recently
episodes.
its series finale has happened,
Okay.
and I've loved Amazing World of Gumball, but it's one of those shows that like once the full season's out, I'll just binge that season.
Yeah.
Like I don't like actively like keep up and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is a thing, and the reason I like that show is like it's same sort of thing as Adventure Time. It's just super creative, and I like all the clashing of styles because there's like CG characters, there's live action characters, there's classic 2D, there's stop motion animate, like there's all these different types of animation at play, and it's funny watching, and they make a lot of very funny meta jokes. They had one where they played a JRPG, and like it's like this like it's like, I have a side quest for you, find my bird. And it's like, okay, we found your bird. It's like, oh, I said birds, and then their map just went with like 1,000 different spots for the bird.
You really do be like that.
And then he's like this, and he's like, and by the time Gumball finishes the quest, he's like the stereotypical fat bearded guy with like a anime shirt and a leather jacket over, and he's like, here's your bird.
Heavy breathing.
and it's just stuff like that. But so season 7, which is the season that just ended, the creator said season 7's the final season. And I was like, oh, I think I'll keep up and watch this season as it goes along. And they built up to this event, sort of. There was this episode called The Void, where they basically introduced a rip in the dimension that's just this empty void that leads nowhere, and I'm like, that seemed like an odd episode. And then the final episode, the character who was revolved around the void, essentially, he shows up towards the end of it. And I'm not gonna say like who he was, or because that's semi spoiler for the last episode for any of our viewers who may want to listen to watch Amazing World of Gumball. But at the very end of the episode, you see the character who is centralized around the void, and he said, "You fools, I was trying to save you guys from..." And before he can say from whatever, he gets bashed into the ground by a T-Rex, because Amazing World of Gumball.
Right, classic.
Classic. And then he wakes up, and he goes, "Those fools, they don't know what's coming." And then the void rips open in the ground and sucks him into it, and then the credits just roll. And I'm like...
Dang.
And I'm like, what? I was like, what
does this mean?
I love that Canaan that you proceeded to still entirely spoil the ending.
Well, no, that's like, the thing is that's like, if that's like a nugget at the end.
Okay.
Because the actual episode plays out, and that's like spoiling an after credit scene of a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a spoiler, but like, it's just
not huge.
And so like it happens, and he gets sucked into the void, and then it just ends, and I'm like, well, that sucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is? And so I looked it up, and people are saying, well, there are rumors that there might be an Amazing World of Gumball movie, and I'm like, and it's like, but there might not be, and I'm like, and Cartoon Network didn't even like advertise this as the final episode. Okay. It was just like, they were like, on this new episode of Amazing World of Gumball. And it's like, oh,
sketchy.
And it just ends, and I'm like, that was a spicy. I'm sad now, but hopefully it can redeem itself. But speaking of end credits, have you seen the new Spider-Man?
Yeah.
See, you and I have both seen it. Hubert didn't watch it, but he did probably the scummiest of things.
I spoiled it myself.
Yeah. He looked up spoilers.
I don't really care about Spider-Man as a character.
It's Spider-Man.
Exactly.
I love Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's great.
I love Spider-Man.
Wow. It's pretty cool, man.
I
just went because my sister wanted me to go. It was decent. It was a very just like repetitive average plot.
Did you watch the other Spider-Man movie, Homecoming?
No.
See, the thing is that I liked this one more than Homecoming, because my logic with Homecoming was that it was a very good movie, but they were really emphasizing the fact that Spider-Man's like a small-time hero.
Okay.
And I'm like, he can do more than that. So I didn't like the first chunk of this movie before things start picking up.
Yeah.
Like, before it gets to like larger event stuff. But once, pretty much the scene, as soon as Mysterio shows up.
Yeah.
Like, that's when the movie like kicked it up a notch in my, because Spider-Man is one of those characters that is like, he can handle these huge events and stuff like that. And I like the way this Spider-Man's been this Spider-Man's been working, because Spider-Man, as a character, the whole premise of his character is he's a kid who just gets crapped on all the time, and his whole thing is that he has to he always gets overwhelmed with superhero stuff and life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole premise of his character. It's not that he's super smart or like he has to outwit someone or he feels inferior. He just is stressed out and always put to his wit's end every moment, and he never gets a chance to breathe. Which is why I liked this movie more than the last one, because he just got crapped on. Constantly gets crapped on. And yeah, and so I enjoyed this movie more than the last Spider-Man movie.
He calls a drone strike on Brad.
Freaking Brad. Dude,
It was pretty funny.
I was about to say the scene with the Swedish girl.
Yeah.
It's like, take off your clothes. and he's like, what? And then Brad just walks in and he's just like,
And he goes, takes a picture.
I liked what Edith stood for.
Yeah.
Even dead, I'm the hero.
I'm the hero.
But I think the joke that got me to laugh the hardest was the opening joke. The very first thing that happens in the movie.
I'm trying to think what. Oh, yeah.
That's what got me to die.
Dude, yeah, I was dying.
That's the like
Because
the
it
thing.
was so low budget.
Well, yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
And I love it that right out the gate through, it's just like spoiler.
Yeah.
It's like bitter. You hear that during like the Marvel logo, and you're like, what? And it's like memories, and it goes through the song, and then
And it was Comic Sans.
yeah, Comic
In loving memory.
Yeah, and you're like, what? And then it just Tony Stark's face.
I thought I was going to say Stan Lee.
Oh, no. See, that's what I thought it was going to say at first, but I'm like, they wouldn't put it in Comic Sans.
That's what I was like, really? Comic Sans?
And then and it's just Robert Downey Jr.'s face.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And then it was like my favorite was that, like, the poor Photoshop of Tony Stark, like, in front of all the missiles.
That's
and,
from the first
well,
Iron
yeah,
Man.
but, like, the horribly, like, high-res,
Yeah.
like, Photoshop of it. And then also the really crappy picture of Vision they got.
Yeah.
Like, that was,
yeah,
like,
the
super
low-res
the
JPEG.
super blurry picture of Vision. And I was like,
Yeah,
this whole, and then it was like, thank you to so-and-so and so-and-so for helping us make that video. MLG horns. And I was like, I don't think this movie can beat that threshold.
Yeah, I expected just a total meme movie for the rest of the time after that.
I mean, people laughed in my theater because I went to go see it opening day. People laughed a lot during the final fight scene when Spider-Man grabs the blunt object on the string and the sign and starts like waving it around like Captain America toward, like, a lot of people in my theater laughed at that first because it's just like, bah, and he's just standing and he just like walks out. Boom, boom, boom. So people laughed at that a fair bit. A lot of people had a kick out of Happy being in love with Aunt May.
Yeah.
And there was
Aunt May keeps getting younger, more attractive with every movie. Dude, back with Tobey Maguire.
Well, yeah, she was
like
the,
90 years
she was
old.
Like, yeah, and then we got like 50-ish.
Yeah.
And now we have
Like
40, 30, like
yeah.
30s, early 40s, and just like, and it says, I can't wait for the 5th Spider-Man reboot where Peter Parker is a toddler and Aunt May is like a 15-year-old girl going through high school.
So true.
It's just like, because both of them have been getting younger each iteration, or like, I mean, yeah, just looking younger, because they're all supposed to be high school age.
Yeah.
But Tobey Maguire was like 30.
What's up with that in 90s movies and 2000 movies where high school kids were literally like 25 or older?
Well, yeah, it's best because a lot of like
the good
young actors weren't
good actors.
Young actors weren't good actors, and it's just stuff like that. But one dude, the only one dude, which is why I laughed as well. So there's a joke in the movie where Happy says, it's like, you worry about the suit, I'll worry about the music. And he plays Back in Black by AC/DC, the first song of the MCU, and Peter Parker says, oh, I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that my theater, 70% of people, it just
They're just like, okay.
it's
Over
Led
your head.
Zeppelin, and because they're like, I don't know.
Uncultured swine.
And the thing is that I know it's AC/DC's Back in Black, so I'm like, and then this
Some guy.
one dude, like 2 rows behind me, just like,
And everyone is like, what's this idiot doing?
and he's just dying laughing, like, oh, and I was just, I blocked this out of my memory, but immediately to my right, there was this guy. Well, I'd say guy. He's a kid.
Okay.
He, like, his family. You can tell their family ordered tickets like literally just before they got there, because they were separated. Like they all like met up at the door, and then they all split up. And like the mom and dad were the row right in front of us, right below us, in the row next to us. So, but this kid was next to me, and he was just like, every time there was a shot of Spider-Man swinging, or like an emphasis on his suit, or like you know, when the dramatic music plays, when they like, whenever he puts on a new suit, or like when he does something cool, he just go, effing beautiful. and I'm just like,
Why?
He's like, oh, beautiful. and I'm like, I am 2 seconds away from roundhouse kicking this kid, because he's like, he wasn't like he's right next to me.
Yeah.
So, and it's just like, oh, and especially when you see like the new suit, the black and red
Monkey?
one. Well,
Night
no,
Monkey?
not Night Monkey, the black and red one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was like, oh, effing beautiful. And I'm like, and you can tell he was saying effing just because he wasn't near his parents.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Bro.
I am going to
Bruh.
roundhouse kick you so hard in the face.
There was some in the back of our theater. There was a group of probably high schoolers, and I swear they were living just like, they were just doing their own thing in a completely different world, like full loud conversations to where we were kind of middle front and we could totally hear everything they're saying. They're in the very back row. They were like playing music. It was the most like disrespectful I've ever seen someone in. It would just be like a quick segment of something like playing a video. At one point a whole bunch of change dropped, and it went for like multiple levels down.
What theater did you go to?
AMC Bethlehem.
Oh, okay.
Big D.
Oh, so that went down because that theater
It's steep.
particularly, it's very steep.
And then after the movie had ended and the credits were rolling, one kid came up to like the railing, and he was like, boom, 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 slamming with his fist. And I was like, what the heck? And then the other kid was shaking his head, and then they're all like running around the theater. One of them did a front flip at the bottom. I was like, literally, these people are in their own world right now. It was so bizarre.
And it's so funny because when you were describing that whole situation, all I could think about is when all of us, when we went to Hunter's like going away party,
Yeah.
and watched like all those movies at the NCG, and just, I was like, I hate being this person.
Yeah.
But it's so much. And I didn't care when we went to go see Skyscraper because we were like the only ones in there.
Yeah.
But when we went to go see the Meg, like that theater was packed.
Yeah. And we
And
went to Aladdin, and it was packed. Also, it was completely full, and it was.
I could imagine that
They're
was
playing the liquid crap stuff.
Oh, the
Yeah.
butt spray.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that should
was-
be illegal,
In the theater,
dude. Oh my.
it was so bad, and there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
Oh,
You
no.
just gotta breathe it in.
Yep.
Wait it
Never
out.
So was like, oh, I feel bad for anyone within a 5-foot radius of you guys.
Yeah.
Then
Everyone was getting mad at Cole. Cal was like, Cole, stop that. Stop spraying that stuff. That's nasty. But it wasn't even Cole. He was like, I'm not doing it. It was Caleb Campbell.
oh, just see. And what would have been cruel if he just like leaned up and just sprayed
Right.
like someone else. Just
Yeah, it was so gross. And there was an old couple, like, in between all of us. You know they were smelling that.
wait, in between, like, were you guys split up? Or?
Yeah, we were a little split up. Yeah.
So these old people are just like, Harold, did you grab your pants again?
Do we need to change your diaper again? Your depends.
No, I'm good.
It wasn't me this time. Get off my back, hag.
Get off my back, airbag. Well, I think we should wrap this up because we've officially crescented and crossed the.
Got him. Oh!
We officially. No.
Dude, the only noise Huber's made in the last
Half hour.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm tired. My dad's
Same,
cooking
dude.
burgers.
I'm wiped out.
I have to stream after this.
You get the stream after this.
What time is it? I don't know what time it is.
It's 6:30.
I gotta eat for
6:27.
30 minutes and get ready and stream by 7.
So, but before, I just realized this. If we keep our regular recording schedule going, next time we will record together will be either, it definitely will be either near or on my birthday.
Happy
Heck
birthday.
yeah.
Wait.
My escape room. Are we doing it again this time?
This is the Mall of Georgia one? Mall of
Yeah.
Georgia. Not
I
Mall
just
of
need
Georgia.
to. I think Sam's getting my birthday off, and you said you're gonna be done with your cream. Your cream.
I'm already done, dude. I'm pretty sure I'm getting 3 weeks of paid vacation.
Holy
What?
Because we
crap.
had to shut down and move, but we were forced to by the landlord, and he's paying.
Wait, so you've moved?
Yeah, so I'm done working for the summer, because like we're closed for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And you're getting paid for this?
Yeah, because the landlord is forcing us to move, so he's paying my boss every day that we're closed, and he's also covering our wages.
And so like basically once the 3 weeks are up, you're done.
Yeah, I already told my boss. I was like, yeah.
Oh my.
I intended to work until the 24th, but I'm done.
So great. So
Wow.
man, you're a free man now. We need
I
to.
am, and I'm done with class as of
I know, I was
today,
about to say,
it
so-
feels good.
You have a real summer now.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know,
actually have
so-
summer.
We can if we can get Sam away from his girlfriend, we can play Minecraft.
Amber. Ooh.
Sam doesn't listen to this. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it was Joe who got pulled over.
It was
My mom asked me earlier. That's
Yes.
funny.
well, we were trying to figure it out on Huber's stream yesterday. Who was it? And I'm like, I think it would be Sam because
Definitely.
I didn't know Joe finally got his driver's license. Because
Oh,
last I remember, Joe didn't have his license and he still had to drive, and Sam still had to drive him everywhere. Oh, and Huber, there's my Mario. Finger got stuck. So
Oh, yeah, I have to do that. I'll do that while the videos are.
yeah, so basically, Daniel, for you to know and for the audience to know, so Huber streams.
Twitch.tv/.
I didn't hear that.
Twitch.tv/. That is twitch.tv/ATTE.
It's almost like all I hear is just a ringing instead of
That just went through because you were talking as well.
Oh no, I can mute individual channels, baby. Yes, I can. I can mute dang, it's like a ringing going on.
I'll get it through. Don't worry.
But so basically on his stream, I asked him, "Can I get inspiration for a Mario Maker level? I'm hankering to build one because I've already built one level and no one's completed it yet. But also like only
Two people played it.
yeah, only 2 people played it, and I was like, dang it. And so because the Mario Maker Reddit thread, they're like, hey, post your levels and people will play them, but people just like post theirs and then never play anyone's level, so it's like. And so no one played, and I'm like, I'm hankering to build a level, and Huber gave me an idea, and Huber said, what was your idea? It was make an easy level that's easy in the beginning, impossible in the middle, and then an auto scroller at the end, and just automatically pushes you to the end. And I'm like, cool, and that transformed into a 40-second speed run.
There you go.
Because I just started building, and Huber, remember how you said it's just going to be full of like invisible blocks and troll blocks and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Originally, the middle bit was full of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a level that requires pure skill to beat.
It's gonna be like
Respectable.
Rust levels type.
All right, so
Speed
I
through
have been Canaan.
I've been Daniel.
And I've been David. And this has been.
We
Scatterpot
forgot to do
Podcast.
this last week. You can find us at
Oh, yeah.
youtube.com/The Scatterpot Podcast, SoundCloud, SoundCloud and iTunes and Google Play at Scatterpot Podcast and Instagram at Scatterpot_podcast. Once again, I've been Canaan. That's Daniel. That's Hubert.
Da-da-da.